I could feel that going up my arm for the whole song. It's like, don't look down. All right, buddy.
You tread through rock, you tread through time. Your life and death still climbs. To lose, forget, to pass you by is not to see the sky. I hear you in the songs you sang. I feel you in those vintage things, for nothing really goes away. All it does is change. All it does is change. You tread through rock, you tread through time. Your life and death still climbs. To lose, forget, to pass you by is not to see the sky. And though my heart cries to be with you in the way that I met you, your hands don't have to hold on to mine. To know that you are there, 'cause I hear you in the songs you sang. I feel you in those vintage things, for nothing really goes away. All it does is change. All it does is change.
The project is called One Word Answers, and the whole point of it was to capture the initial inspiration of an idea, because I was finding I was writing a lot of stuff while I was living in Toronto for the past like 8 years, but I wasn't recording most of it, and then it would sit there for a really long time. And not that there's a shelf life, like songs have a pretty long shelf life if you've put a bunch of work into it, but the electricity wasn't there for recording, and I just found myself working really hard at trying to bring something back that had passed. So I just wanted to capture something new, and I was kind of sick of playing the same old songs for a while. I wrote 10 songs, and I did them all in one sitting. I mixed them later and did some more tracking, and in some cases I did vocals, but the core idea was caught and recorded like a voice memo, only into Logic Pro. So
Right.
They're like really sophisticated voice memos, basically. But usually when I work, it's from a place of like appetite or interest, and that leads me in a bunch of different directions. And I especially wanted to give myself a lot of creative freedom for these, to have as much fun as I possibly could. It was basically like, if it's fun, then I'm gonna do it. If I find it fun, if I find it interesting and kind of challenging, or even silly in some cases, because I think there's an element of comedy in this, in the way that it's in the way that they're put together and the order and everything, because there's some really stark changes.
Not what you think it is, not what you think it is, not you.
From song to song, and I find that kind of funny. So it was really just trying to just make sure that when I was working on it, it was from a place of excitement and not in like a, I don't know, neurotic attempt to perfect something. It was a conscious choice to not edit out so much. Like if something's raw or something's weird or or quirky, whatever, it just was all captured in that initial push. So I think more got captured in that way.
And now you're going to play us a song from another album you just recently released, Honey Baby.
Yeah, I loved working with Alex Purcell on the project. He did some amazing arrangements, like especially on Moody and Moody, I think, the song that I played. His string, we were talking about Joni Mitchell, like later Joni Mitchell. He was like, what do you envision for this song? And then I said, strings or something like that. And then the next day, or like a few days later, he sent this beautiful string arrangement and added some keyboards in it and a little bit of bass. And it's just like, hearing that was one of those moments where it felt like I made it. Even if nobody heard it, I felt like I made it because I made this thing that just I thought was so beautiful, and I was involved with it and working with somebody that I really respected. So yeah, that song is a big standout from the project for me.
If it is moony, if it is starlit, if it is moody, romantic and jealous, if it is dreaming, not realistic, if it is beauty and restless, pathetic, then it is like me, then it is like us, then it is broken and waylaid and perfect. Fits in prairies and phosphorescence, if it's in treetops and grasslands and mountains, if it's in buildings, big busy places, and if it goes from water to faces, then it is in me, then it is in you, and it's touching all we see and all we do. If it's not simple but clearly there, if it has struggles and laughter, despair, if it is caring, warmer than sunshine, if it goes from sour to ugly to divine, then we both know it, then we have shown it, and whatever it wasn't can't touch it.
Where can people find you?
People can find me on lucaspenner.com. That's where One Word Answers is exclusively at this point. I haven't released it on Spotify, but Honey Baby is on, the 5 songs from Honey Baby are on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, all of that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Lucas. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Seamus.
Yeah.